She needs no introduction, but she'll get one anyway. Joan Jett, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, the subject of a few flicks, 2018 Rock Doc, Bad Reputation, the Runaways movie from 12 years ago, actress, rocker, punk legend, queen of rock and roll, a New York institution, all around badass. And you are a part of a really great chapter in Dave Grohl's book, The Storyteller, which brought me to tears. I got it right here. I'm reading it. And it has to do with Dave's daughters and a Barbie Joan Jett, a Joan Jett Barbie, which has got to be the greatest thing that I've ever heard in my life. Amazing.
What an introduction. I don't know what to say after that.
Well, it's true. I mean, and now, thank you for doing this Audacy check-in for all of our stations around the nation. I appreciate that. You are, like I said, you're a badass. And now you're finally hitting the road on the stadium tour after a couple of postponement, pandemic, Corona cuckoo problems. And I got to tell you, you've probably got the most street cred out of the whole bill. And that's including the crew who crawled out of the gutters of Hollywood back in the day. But as you did as well with the Runaways in the, in the early 70s. I mean, that's amazing. You've definitely done it all. And you continue to do it at the top of your game. Congrats on that.
Well, yeah, I'm excited for the stadium tour. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and I'm amazed that we were able to still pull it off after 3 times lucky. I mean, we're not there yet. So
right. It's Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Poison, Def Leppard, and Motley Crue. What do you think of those bands? Because they do something completely different, but the same that you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's similar, not the same, but it's rock and roll, and I think rock and roll goes with rock and roll. So I've played with Def Leppard several times in my career. I think we did a little tour with them in the early 80s, maybe mid 80s. I don't know, but we played with them several times. And I think more recently as well, after 2000, I think. So, I've got some experience with them. I think we played with Poison probably back in the 80s. Motley Crue, I've not played with yet.
Okay. Yeah, they're reuniting for this thing. They had called it a day back in 2015, New Year's Eve, and now they tore up their cessation of touring contract and hitting the road again with you opening the show. I think there's another band. Do you know the other band that's going to be on before you?
I did know their name. Let me think. Classless Act.
Yes, that's a great name for a band. Classless Act. I love it. All right, going back to the Runaways, after you guys did 5 records, and then you produced the seminal debut and only album from LA punk legends, The Germs. And I mean, featuring the inimitable Darby Crash, the late great Pat Smear on guitar, of course. And I actually worked with Don Bowles at a radio station in LA called Mars FM. I used to come on after him. So I've known Don for, yeah. I mean, how was that going back to those days? What did the Germs say to you, and why did you get involved in them? Was it because you were friends with Pat?
Yeah, we were friends, and I was friends with Darby too, but I think I was much closer to Pat. Their songs are great, but you couldn't tell. When they played live
shows,
they were so sloppy that you couldn't hear anything, and it was it was at the same time funny and what people expected of the Germs, but as somebody who knew their songs maybe a little bit better than some other people, I knew that people were missing a lot of it because the songs weren't in any form that you could understand, So
if you watched sorry, not to cut you off, if you watched the documentary, the Penelope Spheris Decline of the Western Civilization from 1980, their live shows, Darby's vocals are indecipherable. So when I finally got the album, I'm like, oh, this is what he's saying. I mean, they had subtitles in the movie, to tell you what Darby was talking about.
Exactly. That's my point. So just as a pure fan level, I just wanted to hear them on vinyl, like most fans would, to hear all the guitars, to hear the words, to hear the parts. I believe there was maybe even some harmony or doubling vocals in there.
Yeah.
So it was fun to just, not take it too far, but just take it to where they should be. And I thought that's how they should sound. And,
well, kudos to you for getting that performance out of him, especially Darby, and having his vocals up front. You could understand the words coming out of his mouth.
I got to give him credit. He was really into it. He knew what I was talking about. With the whole band knew what I was talking about. These are great songs, but you guys live are fucked up, and
right.
Come out like that. So let's play it great, and you'll do great vocals. And they were all into letting everyone know how great the music was. So
well, Pat Smear obviously went on to Nirvana, and then now of Foo Fighter fame, and now he's going to be an actor. I'm sure you've seen Studio 666. Have you seen it yet?
No, awesome. But I want to. Yeah, I heard about it.
Pat steals the show with all of his scary reactions. Oh yeah, that's amazing.
So they film it at Studio 666?
No, they filmed it at a studio that Dave had rented, and he had come up with the concept of this thing because he thought the house was haunted, and then he pitched it to everybody and said, hey, we'll play ourselves. And Rami Jaffe, the keyboard player, is a standout performance too. I mean,
man, okay,
it is it's drop dead funny, literally. It's awesome. You got to see it.
Where do you see it again?
It's in the theaters.
Oh my God.
It's in theaters now. Yeah. Well, it was last weekend. I don't know how long it's going to be in theaters, but I'm sure it'll be on demand or something. You know people, Joan, you could probably get a copy.
Okay, I'll check it out for sure.
So was Pat the connection that got you into sub for Kurt when they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, 8 years ago?
I'll tell you, I don't know what that
you don't know how that came about?
Was.
Really? Okay.
It's so heavy to me, to be asked to do that. But as a fan, how can you say, and a performer, how can you say no?
Right.
It's just like, it's either going to be a spectacular crash or, if I get through it, it'll be amazing. But
we've all seen the footage, and it was not a spectacular. It was amazing. You did Smells Like Teen Spirit.
It was awesome.
On the show. Yeah. And then you did the after party at St. Vitus, and you played that. And
it was incredible. It was really probably as close as you can get to having Nirvana playing again, all their, 3/4 of the band playing there. And they were having a blast. I kept looking at them to see their reactions, and it was really special. I hope someday they do have footage of it. I hope someday they put it out. So everybody can see that.
You've actually credited Nirvana and you showing up and playing with them for your induction the next year into the Rock Hall. Do you really think that?
Yeah, I do. I do. I think, they got nailed in spectacular fashion live with everyone to see. And I think it was probably had no choice, but a lot of those people are my friends as well. And I'm grateful to be in. I love it. I'm in with a lot of my friends, and, it took a long while, but that was never the point of getting into a band, was getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Sure.
But I'm happy to be there, and happy with people I'm in there with. And
nice.
So,
well,
it was really a special occasion. And I just did my voting. So
I won't
tell you who.
Okay. Yeah. This year's nominees are a pretty eclectic bunch.
Yeah.
You got people like Priest and Beck and Dionne Warwick and the list goes on and on. Will you be watching?
On TV.
At the venue? Will you be in the venue? Do you go to these things because you're there? Because you're in.
I have been to several of them.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm going this year. I'm not sure when is it, in April?
The nominations, the inductees come out in May, and I think it's April. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Depends if on the road or whatever.
Right on. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You do have a tour coming up. Crank it up. June 16, stadium tour, blast off in Georgia, ends in Vegas, September 9, with Motley reuniting Def Leppard, Poison, Joan Jett, and the Blackhearts, and classless act, first band on stage. I'm going to plan on catching this at least twice in a couple different cities around the country. So it's going to be
nice. Yeah?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Last year was the 40th anniversary of your first two albums, A Bad Reputation, I Love Rock and Roll, and now have they already gotten the graphic novel treatments? You've got like 20 different stories from female artists and writers from the comic book industry putting this together.
It's amazing. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen it, but
I haven't seen it yet. No,
they're so cool, man.
Really?
It's like I can't say that I didn't read comics when I was a kid, because I did.
Mm.
I didn't get into the comic books so much as reading the comics in the newspaper. My dad was done with it.
Right.
Just reading whatever was in there.
Yeah.
To see yourself to be put in that sort of
That's
category.
Gotta be surreal.
It is. It's surreal and wonderful, and I'm really happy that it's women artists doing this and their interpretations, and it's great. It's got something for me to read through this year.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations on all your success.
Thank you.
And all different multimedia events. You know what I mean?
Well,
you're amazing.
A lot of that has to do with Carrie Ann Brinkman, who runs Blackheart, but she took it from being like an indie label to like a entertainment company now, that works with movies and TV and all kinds of stuff.
And Blackheart Records has been around since 1980, 42 years. That's mind-blowing.
Yes. We're so proud of that,
Right.
Kenny and I.
That is an accomplishment and a half, especially with the industry that it's turned into now. It's not the music industry that you came up in, obviously. And that for even the last 10 years, 12, 15 years.
It changes so fast now.
Yeah. Well, look, your allure, your aura, your je ne sais quoi, is unparalleled. I don't know anybody who doesn't dig Joan Jett. And if there is, I don't want to know them. They're idiots. So thank you so much for taking the time and rapping with us today, Joan. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts on a stadium tour this summer with Motley, Def Leppard, Poison. You guys are kicking it off. And can't wait to see you out on the road. Thanks.
Love you guys. Thanks.
Take it, this is getting silly. Can't find me no tranquility anymore. I just can't get through to you. We're faking it, it's time to admit it. You make me feel like an idiot all the time. There's nothing left for me to do. No, so I'm gonna run away, and I'm never coming back to you. No, so I'm gonna run away, and I'm never coming back to you. We were friends, now you're the enemy. Don't need this when there's a remedy. It's the end, go play a trick on someone new. I'm gonna run away, and I'm never coming back to you. No, so I'm gonna run away, and I'm never coming back to you. Ain't life strange, how people change. You were all I wanted once, now you're just a pain. You